Hello and welcome to you wherever you are in the world and at whatever stage of the day or the evening that you are at. This is Soul and Beyond, proudly presented to you on Women Thrive TV, and I am Gwenda Smith, your host. This evening, we're going to have a talk about the power of language, and I've invited in the highest one of the highest references that I can communicate with, and that is Archangel Melchizedek and also Archangel Raziel. Have you ever wondered about the power of the words that you use in everyday life? Let's have a look at emotions to start with. So, when you get angry, and we all have moments of getting angry, do you know what the first thing is that you do? The very first thing? It might surprise you to find that you actually hold your breath. And in those seconds, nanoseconds even, of holding your breath, your pupils constrict and dilate. Your heart skips a beat, misses a T wave here and there. Your colon contracts and your stomach puts out extra acid. All of that goes on while you are in a flurry of anger. So lots of things are happening to the physical body. And afterwards, you may find that you don't have an appetite or that you even have a headache. Some people find they have to go and lay down. They just can't handle the rest of the day. It's our emotions that stir us when it comes to our language. But even in our everyday conversations, our language matters. Did you know the soul has its own language? When I invited Archangel Melchizedek to come in and assist me, guide me with our topic today, the feeling, the sensation is nothing short of miraculous. Why would it be anything else? He's an archangel after all. I have encounters with him previously and also with Archangel Raziel. And Raziel introduced me to the code of my soul. He also introduced me to the code of my DNA. And both are extremely different. So what is language of the soul? What does that mean? Because we all speak a language, right? It doesn't matter what the culture is, but we have a language. The thing is that we are trained in our language, meaning we are taught from small how to talk. And that in its own way brings us to beliefs about ourselves, about life, and most importantly, about the things that go on around us. So different experiences, different things that happen are laced in language that comes from how we have been taught and with our emotions that we connect to that language. There's an old saying that words either hurt, they either harm, or they help. There's also the famousness about, witchcraft and putting a spell on someone or a curse. Is it true? Certainly can be. And what does all of that rely on? It relies on the use of language, the use of words, the power, the intent that is put with the words. And what I would like to bring to you today in Soul and Beyond is to have a very different perspective and maybe apply some new practices to the way that you use language. You see, when you use language of the soul, you become the creator of your life with much greater intensity. You can also find it is a master key to healing. For a lot of people, wealth is a big thing. Well, I'm going to use the word abundance, because abundance is a word the soul resonates with. And this is what soul language is. It is words that are extremely powerful and the soul resonates with them, which means you now have the soul at the forefront as your guide, to guide you in this life so that it can actually have the experiences that it came to have in this life. Now, you may be thinking, how in the world can just changing the way that I use language bring me to have a deeper connection or awareness with my soul? Well, let's have a look at some of the classic things that people say. I don't want any more of this. I don't want any more of this pain. I don't want to go to work today. I don't want another relationship like the one I've just come out of. I don't want another person to treat me the way I've just been treated. And then what do you hear them say? I keep saying I don't want, and I just seem to keep getting more of what I don't want. Well, here's some quick words and very commonly used words that are not power words of the soul. And that is don't, can't, won't. None of those words are power words. And in fact, because the soul has no resonance with them, it blots them out. So hence when you say, I don't want, you actually get, because it's gone, want. Do you see? One simple word, and look how much difference it makes. Your words carry a frequency, but language that is not of the soul resonance carry a very different frequency to those that are of soul resonance. So when we say don't, won't, can't, those words are not aligned, and the soul doesn't know what it is that you're asking for or that you want not to be in your life. So power words and speaking with words that are resonance with your soul takes you into a deeper spiritual connection, allows you to live a more spiritual life. And why would you want to do that? Well, if you like peace, calm, clarity, if you need healing of anything, be it trauma, intergenerational trauma, childhood abuse, anything, if you want abundance, and what does abundance mean for you? If you want abundance, then you will want to use power words. Here are some other examples of words that are very removed from being in alignment with the soul and can actually cause you a lot of hurdles and obstacles in your life. And those are any of the words that begin with prefixes like dis, un, re. Like if we're going to look at evolving, then we do not use words like reinvent myself, re-evolve. And if we're going to look at having more strength in our physical body and overcome an illness, we're not going to repair or restore, because when you restore something, you're going back. Now, if you have had a situation, an illness or anything in your life that needs to be healed, then it's not about restoring it. It's about starting fresh. But the mind, when we look at something that is repaired, so if I take a punctured tire to the store and they repair it, they just put a blotter over the hole and it's repaired, right? But it's not whole, and it's not whole. It's no longer whole as in new. Is that making sense for you? Let's see if anyone's with us tonight that wants to have a chat. Oh, hi, Michelle, Tanya, Wealthy Academy, welcome. Say what you do want. Yes, you do say what you do want, Tanya. But it's also a matter of how you say it. So when we're looking at wanting to embrace being guided by the soul, the words we use matter. If we say we have a disbelief, if we say, I can't see myself doing that, the soul is not able to assist you. Can your guides assist you? Can your soul step up? Well, they certainly try. However, when you use that kind of language, you're creating a barrier where you're not able to hear the guidance and you're not able to see the signs to help you. When we look at the power of words, you can feel it in your gut. You can feel it in your heart. So if you say that you are disorganized, on a mental level, because of what you've been taught, you know what that means. However, if you wanted to change that and have more power in your life to be organized, then you would rephrase that. Rephrase. See how easy it is to use a prefix? Because we have been trained that way. So to begin to use soul-aligned, soul resonance language, they are whole words. Anything with re, dis, im in the front of it are not soul power words. In fact, they bring you undone. Is that one? Is that a power word? Again, you know what it is in your mind, but we want to go deeper. We want to get to the soul so that we can have the guidance, the incredible, powerful wisdom of the soul to take us to a greater awareness, therefore a higher consciousness. If I look at things like childhood these days, more so than in my childhood, so many parents will say things like, don't climb on that, you will fall. And then shortly after, a child has fallen. I told you so. No, you actually gave instruction to the child to fall. Instead of encouraging them to look how high you're going, hold on tight to the branch, keep your focus where you are headed. Instead, that word don't has stepped in. And of course, it gets blotted out. When it comes to relationships and we're looking at how we want to be loved, so often we start with, I don't like it when you. I don't like the way. I don't want. So we are setting ourselves up for communication that is not speaking to each other's soul. And we find it very difficult. Learning how to look past the ways that we have been taught to use words means that we need to be able to observe our own reactions to things. So I spoke to you about emotions, anger. Anger in particular because of what happens in the physical body and the aftermath. But anger is also a very good example because often we will verbalize out loud what we are angry about and how we're feeling about it. And if you think about it, you can feel the ferocity and the power that comes from when you're angry, right? So this is what I'm asking you to think about when it comes to the power of your words. What words are you using? So when we want to start to evolve and transcend, we bring about tremendous transformation for ourselves, and we can actually change our life exponentially and almost instantaneously through using power words. So if you find yourself going to use words with im, dis, re, anything like that, pause first and really feel into what it is you want to express. We want to use words that are whole words that can bring forward a different level of frequency, a different level of vibration. And the wonder of this is it brings you to healing. So we can heal from heart pain, the loss of a relationship, the loss of ourselves in a relationship, through looking at language as our healing vibration. We all go through times of sorrow, sadness, grief, anger, even resentment, even hostility. So if we can take a moment to step out of those feelings and observe ourselves, observe what it is that we are feeling before we speak. Take a moment to pause. And you know, when you pause and then go into a slow, gentle breath to 4 counts in, hold for 4 counts out, you will then find that you feel a centeredness because you've now calmed the central nervous system and the digestive system. And from there, you can start to find your way to knowing consciously what it is that you want from the situation, the experience that is arisen for you and that you're in right now. So it takes some training to do this. And as you heard deliberately, I dropped in a couple of the re words. And that is because we will so quickly pick up on those because they are common. They are as we have been trained. Archangel Melchizedek brings balance and synchronizes energies. So if you would ever like to have his assistance with you with feeling power from your words and your thoughts, call upon him. He loves to assist in shifting things, shifting energy, shifting the way that molecules come together. How could words and speaking have molecules in them? Well, if you've ever seen somebody cough or sneeze and you see the vapors, the droplets come from their mouth, we can do the same thing with our speaking. You can feel it yourself if you put your hand to your mouth as you speak. So if you would like to have an arrangement to being less powerful to powerful, ask Archangel Melchizedek to give you a hand and use the principles of the 4 breath, observing and breathe, and let yourself pause before speaking. Begin to catch yourself before you use words that begin with im, dis, re, any of those. And ask yourself, what is it that I really want? So we learn to speak intentionally and with purpose. And we also do that through cultivating personal self-compassion and self-acceptance. A lot of it is about knowing how you're really feeling because it's our feelings that will make us jump in and say things before we've really stopped, paused, thought about it. In a conversation, have you ever found yourself preempting and wanting to jump in to finish someone's sentence, or had someone do that to you? And then you find yourself carried off on a tangent in the conversation that really doesn't kind of fit with where you wanted to go, or perhaps with the way that you were thinking. So some very simple, practical steps to use for you to know the language of the soul is to begin to really look at the conversations that you participate in and start to make conscious decision as to how you will participate or not. And if you find yourself in a situation where the conversation is not soul aligned, it's not resonating with soul language, then allow yourself to sit inward. Call upon your soul, call upon Archangel Melchizedek to give you a hand, and really embrace quietness. Another step that you can take is the 4 breath, the pause and the count 4 breath. They are very, very powerful. At the end of the day, make sure that you close the day with much love and appreciation for everything that has come through the day. And that way you are not going to drag one day into another, because that takes us into things that are not resolved. We need to resolve them before we go to sleep. And we can at least resolve them with ourselves or ask our soul's help while we sleep. And when you do that, you ask that you wake fresh, not refreshed. We don't want to be refreshed. We want to be fresh. Can you feel the difference? So let's think about some words with the and the im. I'm unbalanced. How are you unbalanced? And what is the soul thinking about that? Well, what is the soul's feeling with that? Unbalanced, unbalanced. I'm impossible. Some people have become very tricky with that one and changed it into it's not possible. Now that most definitely creates a divide between yourself and being able to hear the guidance of the soul. That's a very powerful phrase. It is not possible. When in fact the soul, if you invite it, will find you every possibility and every potential. So if you were to change that and say, show me the possibilities or show me the potential in this, and you will find that amazing things open for you. The other practical step is stillness. And you can be in stillness while you sit in a conversation. As I mentioned a moment ago, if the conversation is not resonating with you and you can feel in your heart, feel in your stomach that it is not resonating, then sit in stillness. You don't have to speak all the time. We can simply be quiet. And if anyone asks, you can say that you are simply observing or you're listening. It matters not. All that matters is how you are creating a connection, a deeper connection with your divine self, and being able to be led through that connection using the power of language. If you say that you have come unhinged or I'm anything, the soul is like, don't know what you want with that. The mind, however, will take you on a merry tangent of learned behaviors. All of those, are going to take you into patterns of behavior that belong to the mind of this world. And those words also invite you to be caught in old experiences, old hurts. Even if you were to say that, oh, I've healed all of my past, the mere fact that you're using words with and un, im, re, keeps you caught in a place that harbors old patterns of behavior and, believe it or not, old patterns of belief. So the power words, if we look at words as medicine, have any of you... Oh, Amanda, hello. Very official tonight. Thanks, Tanya. Yes, the power of the pause. Have any of you heard Hippocrates' famous line, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food? Well, I like to translate that across to words. Let the power of your words be your healing. Let the words of power be your uniting with the soul. When you look at the effect words have, or even a thought, and you feel into the body. So another simple practice is to be aware of how your body is feeling when you're speaking. Can you feel any kind of tension, resistance? Suddenly, I don't know what that is. I was all right a minute ago. Paying attention to the responses of the body when you are speaking or when you are listening or reading to someone else is really important, and it is a very simple, practical step for you to start to know more about the language that is not resonating with your soul, or is leaving your soul out in the cold, and it's waiting for you to say, let's play together. Let me guide you. Let me be your light. And let me help you with powerful words that allow you to be the designer of your life. Could it be that easy that the words you use can allow you to be the designer of your life? Well, try it. I invite you to try it. And a handy thing to have is a journal. And at the end of the day, make notations of what you've found through the course of the day by taking the pause and choosing a different word, choosing to use whole words, no words with prefixes, and take the time to feel into your energy. You will find that you will have more vitality, more clarity, you will get more done, and abundance of whatever that means for you, whatever your focus is for abundance will come your way. Relationships change. And when you really get the gist of it, you'll find that you no longer sit in conversations that do not resonate with you, that are not language of your soul. Does the soul actually talk as we do? Well, if you were to have a look around the world, how many languages, cultures do you think there are? Even in the Indigenous races of Australia, the groups of us, there are hundreds of different languages. And we don't all speak each other's language, the same as you may not speak Swedish or Dutch or even American. The Americans speak differently. So when I'm talking to you about the language of the soul, it is vibration, it is frequency. Whole words, power words, have the highest frequency. So when you're talking in higher frequency, you are coming from the soul. And that's what changes everything. The power of your language even changes the structure of the cells of your body. And that's why it becomes a very, very good healing tool, healing practice for you. Authenticity and truth. Did you know your soul knows only truth, just as it knows only pure love? Now, what have we been taught to think about the soul? We've been taught to believe a word, unconditional. Well, I'm going to tell you that is not a power word, all right? It has un in front of it. It's a very clever construct. What the soul knows is pure love and pure joy. So if you want your mind to think about pure love and pure joy, you would want to look at something that makes you see purity. Or you say, wow, that is so pure. What comes to mind for you that's pure? Diamonds are pure, and yet they can have an occlusion. And they can have fractured light because of that occlusion. What is the most pure thing that you can think of? I'm thinking of honey. When we get pure honey from the hive and it is not treated in any way, it is still pure. A flower that blooms and has not been hampered by mankind is pure. You have an incredible power within you that is pure, and it knows only truth and authenticity. I'm going to stay with truth as the most powerful word. Did you know that if you were to put your arm out and I was to push it down and have you say, my name is Gwenda, you cannot hold your arm up? This is kinesiology, a lot of you might know. Muscle testing is another name they call it. It's truth testing. Your body cannot lie. Your body only knows truth because your body is the physical messenger of the soul. So if you are going to say something that is not truth to the soul, in other words, I don't believe this, this is impossible, I'm unbalanced, I'm imbalanced, I'm unreliable, none of that is truth. And yet you will find that circumstance and experiences feed those words. How does that work? If our soul is all-knowing and it's extremely wise and it's powerful, how is it that I am creating everything that I don't want? Well, because we're not in alignment with the soul. We are operating from the mind and our learned behaviors, our taught language, our taught ways to think and to look at things. So I invite you to think about making the power of your language be your healing tool and your tool of abundance. You will create such magic in your life when you look at using language as your power source and using language to be your alignment with your soul. The guidance that will come forward for you will be nothing short of miraculous. Can you create miracles? Yes, you can. In your own life, you most certainly can. Having speech, words, conversations that are a consciousness, hold an intention and a purpose. You'll notice some words I have not used. Yes, Tanya, I am. Some words I have not used: mindset, mindfulness. Have a look at those words. What are they saying? My mind is set. My mind is full. Instead, my mind is open and I am willing to receive guidance from my higher self and from my divine team. When the world goes pear-shaped, as we've seen in the last few years, there was a huge tsunami of a shift in language, and so many people have been caught up in it. If only they realized it was orchestrated and delivered extremely well, and it took them away from being able to be in alignment with their soul. So if you want to make some notes of words that you would like to leave out, they would be anything that have the prefixes im, dis, re. Are there any that you can think of that I've not listed there? Instead, you will start to pause and give thought to what you're going to say and what is the intention and the purpose of what you're going to say. And I will say to you, this takes practice. It's very easy for us to fall back into old ways. But two words I really, really want you to think about cancelling off your list is repair, reinvent, I can't count, restore, imbalanced, unbalanced, anything that starts with and im. Leave them off your language and instead look for words that are whole words and powerful. Let your soul guide you to action. And the way it can do that is for you to take action. So the simple practical steps that I invited for you to use each day is the way that you will take action, and then your soul will take the lead. Become the, yes, thank you, Tanya. You hate another one very much. There's several of them. You can feel the vibration, you can feel the frequency very present in your body when you use those words versus whole words. And of course, can't, won't, don't. Let's find different ways of approaching what it is that we are placing ourselves in a place of resistance and claiming that we can't do that. The other beginning that you can ask for is show me. Show me how. Show me where. Now your soul will step forward and bring forward to you the things that you need to find the solution, to find the pathway, to bring you the people that can support you or help you in whatever it is you're looking for. How's that feeling to you so far? How does it feel that the words we use are either a power language or they create us to be away and being out of alignment with the incredible divinity that you hold within? When we want to heal something, what's running in the background? This isn't really working. This is not going to work. I don't think this is going to work. But from here, we're saying, I put energy into my elbow. I say my prayer every night. But back here, we're saying it's not going to work. Which do you think has the more conviction? The one you've been taught, the one that you have learned, is going to have far more conviction. But when you completely leave that out and place yourself in a powerful place of trust in the language of the soul, then you're going to find your life, everything changes, and your health will change exponentially. You can heal anything within minutes, sometimes hours. It's because there are layers, there are different things going on. But truly, when you sit in the truth and the wisdom of the soul and you call upon the power of language to be your connection, to be your alignment, and beautiful Archangel Melchizedek, you're going to find miracles appear in your life every day and things will change. If you have been affected, caught up in the mosh pit of what's been going on in the world in recent times, have a look at the words that you're using and you will find that they are not aligned with the soul. And it will make you feel like you are having to fight more, having to put up a bigger stance. This is from the mind. When you come from a place of power, language, power of the soul, it has an incredible powerfulness, and yet it is very gentle. So before I leave you this evening, I'm going to ask you to think about how you cultivate compassion and acceptance of who you believe yourself to be. Because that is also a key to the language that you will use. And when you develop beautiful self-compassion and full acceptance, that leads you into that deeper spiritual connection with your divine self and the divine. And it's magical and it's miraculous. Now, before we go, I'm going to have a look at your comments. Wow, Tanya, thank you. It's lovely to have you sharing here. I love how my words make me feel happy, excited, and create abundance. Very nice. And actions. Yes, they must align. And we've got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. So if starting means taking that breath and stepping back to observe and really listen to what it is that you think you're going to say, and instead swap out the words that are not power words. So the power of language is the most beautiful art to create the life you want to create. It means that you can become the designer of your life. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, what about other people and what's going on in their life? Well, you can support other people. You can listen to other people, but it's not your life. And the best way you will support them and help them through things is through coming from a place of power of language that resonates with your soul. Your energy will then flow to the person that you may be concerned about or that you want to help, and you will make an amazing difference. It's been wonderful to be with you this evening on Women Thrive TV. Well, it's this evening here. It's been wonderful to be with you on Women Thrive TV. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Australian Western Time. And wherever you are in the world. And I thank you for joining me, Karen McAllister. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed the reminders. And I look forward to seeing everyone again next week. Good night for now. God bless.